My name is Denty Boyce.
My name is Daniel Fripp.
For our project, we did the effect of oleic acid on ants' reactions to inanimate objects. And inanimate objects are objects that can't move by themselves. So last year around this time, we were brainstorming for an idea because we had just finished our last project. So we were thinking, what could we do? So we went to the lab one day and we decided to look at the other projects. And when we saw ant farm, we saw an ant carrying another ant to the top of the colony. So we did research when we got back to the room and we found out that the ant was dead. And the other ants knew this because of a trigger called oleic acid. And oleic acid is an acid that ants release when they die that triggers the other ants to take that this animal is dead and needs to be taken to the dead pile. So we decided, what can we do with this to make it a scientific project?
So we know that ants are a big pest for people and they often find themselves in places where they're unwanted. So we thought back with this process, with the oleic acid, how it causes them to take themselves back to the colony, we thought we could use it as a potential ingredient and pesticide to where the ants will remove themselves from the environment without causing the person to struggle too much to try to get rid of them.
So what we did was we made 3 farms. The first 2 correlated with each other. The first one was a control. It was 6 inches of sand inside the farm. At 2 inches, we had one color of colored paper, and then another color at 4 inches, so that we could determine the distance that the ant traveled with the different variable. And in another farm, we did the exact same thing, but this time the colored paper was coated with oleic acid. So the goal was to see how they reacted with one farm with oleic acid and without oleic acid, and differentiate between the two. And the last farm was where we put a dead pile on one side with dead ants, and on another side we put a piece of paper with oleic acid, and we wanted to see how the ants would react to the 2 different variables.
So these first 2 farms are the first where we first started. We ran into a problem with these farms. Like at first, when we first put the ants in, we realized that they weren't digging. They were just walking around the enclosure or the ant farm. So we realized that the sand might have been too dense for them. So that's when we created this second model of the ant farms.
So what we decided to do is we realized that we can't just have a project and have no data. So what we did is we put 3 ants inside of a farm, and we observed to see how they would react to each other. It was normal, like a normal colony, because it was just 3 ants. But when we put oleic acid on one of the ants, the other 2 ants acted as though that animal was a dead ant, even though they clearly saw him moving. The trigger in their brain automatically ran off because they smelled the oleic acid, and they took him to the dead pile. And we put aluminum foil inside of a farm to see how they would react to it. And they picked it up and sniffed it, but because it had no use to them, because it wasn't food or anything, they left it alone. But when we put oleic acid on it, that's when they thought it was dead because of the trigger, and automatically took it to the dead pile. And the same results happened with colored paper.
So in the future, if we were to continue this project, we would purchase ant farms instead of trying to make our own, so that we can have the sand that comes with them, so we can be assured that the ants will dig under. We can have results on a full colony and not just a few ants. Any questions?
Nope.
He stopped it.